That's what I'm thinking. I need to be well to travel.
Especially since you want the window seat. With you wanting the window seat.
No, at this current state of where I am, I could stay in that window seat and not stand up at all. I'd be absolutely fine. Yesterday,
sunshine.
I'd be very much asking to switch for the aisle seat and possibly telling the stewardess, would you mind giving me the row at the back of the plane? That would be less than ideal.
Poor Milo.
You're going to be sat editing on the plane, matey.
Yes.
No time for watching movies.
There never is. Although, to be honest, even an edit these days doesn't take 12 hours.
That's true.
¿Dónde está el baño?
You might need to learn that phrase.
¿Por qué?
Milo.
¿Dónde está el baño?
Tell me what and why.
Where is the toilet?
I don't need to tell you why now.
We're not going to a Spanish-speaking country for a long time, though, are we?
We're going to LA.
Thankfully, they speak English there.
It's very close to Mexico, dude.
I won't be running that far. I'm not running that far just to use a bog. Where's Milo gone? He was supposed to be doing this meetup. He's headed for the border.
Paw Patrol.
Not only...
Well, he's had a dodgy taco.
I can't risk that sort of thing. Dear God.
It's all right, mate. Plenty of Imodium and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't understand people who don't have Imodium on them. Imodium's brilliant. I had that when I was in Berlin. Do you remember that when I got my shiny in the porter cabin? Portaloo.
You told us about
shiny.
I remember asking someone in German as best as I could, do you have any Imodium?
Do you want to know what Mark was thinking when he took some Imodium?
What was I thinking, Ian?
That's when the German said that. Yeah.
On fire.
I have tablets.
The ring of fire.
Oh. It's that shiny A. It's like, oh!
It's the Pacific Rim, Ian, actually.
Pacific Rim. The A of fire. The ring of fire.
The flaming A.
The flaming A.
Flaming A.
Or the flaming ah!
Tonight, we've got a fiery CROC to chase next Com Day. Where can you find us in LA? And Niantic have your calendar fully booked for next season. Welcome back to the Incensed Podcast, episode 210, or the Chevrolet 210 show.
Yes!
AKA the Bel Air, I believe it was.
Well done,
and
Milo.
with me, it's the usual trio. We have Barnacle Barrow, we have Wonderpuss Vassafal, and Muscle Milo. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to have you back with us. And boys, how are you doing? Do you like my mollusk nickname for you all?
I like the fact, Milo, that I'd written it on my bit of paper before tonight's
have you?
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice. You've done a Google search as well, then?
No, the 210's a great model, the Chevrolet. I got a Chevrolet.
It's a mid-50s.
Mid-50s, 53 to 57, Milo, the Chevrolet 210.
Fabulous mobile.
And I'd just like to add that Milo actually pronounced an American car correctly.
Chevy.
Because he can't pronounce Jeep names.
Choky.
Actually, that one begins with a CH as well. So that's surprising. But yeah, Ian, apparently, I did look this up. You are, I think, of a small... God, where was it from?
Wunderpuss.
Wunderpuss is, I think, it's an octopus from the Philippines.
A Wunderpuss.
Milo, why have you gone Wunderpuss? What is
Well, because your nickname was very funny last week, and then you just coined me with Muscle Milo, which, yes, people eat them.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I couldn't... There's no mollusk species, as far as I could find out, that begins with the letter I. And I was like, I could find clammy cascada, but,
Well, Ian, good news.
Hey, some things we keep private, Whitfield.
Yeah. but Ian, good news. You have a spectacular pattern, does the Wunderpuss. It's a small-bodied octopus species.
There you go. See? Graceful, yet
striking.
Slim in nature.
Where is this going?
I don't know. Hopefully somewhere into the show. But, I mean, Wunderpuss Vasa, how are you?
I'm okay. I am... And Mark's going to roll his eyes, but I am literally ready for LA, man. Seriously. Next Thursday cannot come quick enough.
But Ian, as I keep saying to you, the quicker you wish something, the quicker it'll be done, and we'll all be back here going, oh, how was LA?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, distant memory.
I get the little airplane. And that's it.
Actually, not for him, because he's sticking around in California for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not just going for 4 days like Whitfield. I'm actually going to stick around for 10 whole days.
You're going to do some proper work out there, Ian, are you? Going to meet up with everyone and get involved, yeah?
I'm doing the podcasts, I'm doing the vlogs, I'm potentially driving 7 hours to see friends in Arizona. I've got a pretty full itinerary for while I'm out there.
And what car are you going to be driving when you're out there, Ian?
A rental car.
And what type of rental car will you
From
be
the
driving?
same company as before.
An SUV. The model is currently unknown.
It's when you see some reg plate, he goes, this looks familiar.
I'll be pulling up my clip
No,
from the
no.
previous year.
No. Actually, funny story. Milo knows this, you don't. This is new to you. But I actually booked a rental car, and Sue's like, you have not booked with budget again. And I'm like, well, yeah, it was the best price. She's like, cancel it and book with Hertz. So
Hermes.
Sue, literally at gunpoint from Sue, I had to cancel and rebook with a slightly more customer-friendly
A company that hasn't wronged you before, Ian, basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Twice.
exactly. I couldn't book with Avis because Avis is part of the budget, is part of the Avis group. So, yeah,
Well,
I definitely won't be seeing the same vehicle as we had last time. Maybe
Okay, well,
same
knock on wood
model, but
that
not
the
the
herds
same vehicle.
don't.
Yeah.
They don't do you over.
Yeah.
I think whatever happens, it will be here before you know it, boys. So have some fun.
Hashtag.
No hashtag fun.
No.
No.
Only on this show tonight.
Hashtag Unova Tour 25.
Or is it Go Tour Unova? We'll find out the
I can't
official
remember what the
hashtag
was,
soon
actually,
enough.
Say.
I am sure. Now, Marky, how are things with you in your shed?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm not going to share it all on the podcast, but I had some very good news today, which is good, and you all won't know what I'm on about. So
No, you can't tell me.
no, I'm not,
Test came back negative.
No, I wouldn't have shared that with you boys if that was the case. No, life's good. Life's good. Yeah, just really good. Looking forward to a weekend away as well. Got a nice weekend booked away this weekend, so can't wait.
Fabulous.
Get some coastal air, and just looking forward to the show tonight. It's going to be another good show. I think when we get further into the news, we'll realise our diaries haven't got enough free days in them to do everything. But we will not spoil that yet.
No, we need more days and more months and more hours in our lives, according to Niantic. But on the note of this show, before we do jump into the usual stuff, this podcast on this show is 4 years old, if I'm not wrong.
It is. The first ever episode of Incense Podcast was recorded on the 10th of February 2021, and because we used to record on Thursday back then, and we dropped it on the 14th of February.
Yeah.
So recording wise, we're literally a day out from literally our 4 years.
Happy 4 years.
Happy 4 years, boys. I've not got any champagne, but Ian Juice.
Oh no,
call
I'm not
back
throwing
to
that back. I've got
2021.
some Agua de Wunderpuss.
We do joke about this, and I was clearing out the house and sort of redoing a few bits of that, I found some old incense business cards that we handed out at events.
Oh, were they the first
the old ones with the old with the old discount code.
Yeah, and I looked at it and I went, "How far we've come! How far we have come!"
We had a
Family
very
friendly
adolescent,
now, yes.
I guess, sense of humour back in the day.
Yeah, I saw that and I just went, yeah, we have come so far. And I'll have my hands up, guys, and I say this with love. I didn't think we'd still be here 4 years down the line. I'm very, very impressed that we are. And I think it's testimony to our amazing listeners that keep the show going by listening and engaging with us and wanting to be involved. No pressure. We need you to do that even more so now moving forward.
Yeah, help us get to 5
right.
years.
Yeah.
Quite right. It all starts again now. Actually, let us know on socials when you started listening to Incensed Podcast. Which episode was it that you tuned into for the first time?
If it was in the first 50, then we're sorry.
Yeah, horrific. Horrific.
Yeah, episode,
Wunderpuss.
our 1 year show was quite epic, but that was episode 53,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, so that's safe.
And hashtag Whitfield is hashtag Pokemon Go Tour.
Okay, that hashtag is what we're going to need to utilize. But there's also a hashtag that you will be needing to learn, listeners, and utilize. But before that,
Pop your incenses, champions. Let's go.
of course, the age-old thing has not changed. Drop your incense. Let us know if you catch anything shiny, hundo, or awesome, Galarian, or whether it decides to run away from you like 99% of the time. You can let us know on any of our socials at Incensed Podcast across X, Instagram, Threads, and there's Blue Sky incense.bo. Something or other. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the link tree.
BO? I think they're the only letters that aren't in it, Milo.
Don't know. Oh, there's a B in there somewhere. Of course, there is the Campfire community. We'd love you to get involved in that. Of course, the Patreon exclusive Discord as well. There is the WhatsApp number, +44 759 269 5696. That would be directly to Ian's pocket, which is fantastic. And the email contact@incensepodcast.com. And finally, the send us a text message button is, I think, about covering all the socials. And if you do want to get in contact with us, make sure you drop #Shinies of the Week.
I'm sorry, could you clarify the spelling? Ian didn't get that.
Bless Ian.
So if any of us got it with the audio quality there, Alex, but go on.
It's like a bad Bluetooth connection. Anyway, that would be SHINIESOFTHEWEEK. And actually, I've just noticed for the first time in 4 years, I haven't written that down on my show notes. After 4 years, I finally remember which letters go in which order without looking at it.
Oh, yes, you haven't.
I'm astonished. But we'd love to hear from you. We really would love to hear from you. Get involved with the show. We love the community chats and seeing your Pokemon Go catches and wins. But now, there was a Biscuit debate last week, and I think we've got an extra step to go with it.
Yeah, it's sneaked back to the beginning of the show, hasn't it?
Just tell me about you, mate. Just what's going on?
It's found its familiar routing.
Well, it gives the poll the most chance of getting some votes on it as well.
Yeah,
Leaving it
we had 3 votes.
You know what? The Insta poll had more interaction than the X ones ever do.
Yeah, but not in time for the show.
Not in time, unfortunately. But you're right, Ian. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, if only we had a full day, we could put the results over.
But what we need to do, guys, thinking aloud, is we need to drop the incense poll 24 hours before we record the show. Agree on the question, even though the listeners will know what they are when we record it.
So we need to do
make
the
the
show
poll
notes.
nothing to do with getting to know you. How about that for a step change?
Wow.
Anyway,
steady on,
We'll
Vassar.
do that if we get to the 5th year, Ian. Let's not speed things up too much.
This episode 211 is where it's all going to completely change. Anyway, Mark asked the very important question, what is our favourite type of biscuit? And it definitely stirred a chord with the social networks and the nation. So, folks, boys,
Wait.
what's your favourite type of cake?
Well, we know the McVitie's Digestive Hobnob was the nation's favourite biscuit.
Yes.
So that's always a good thing.
So if we are going to pitch favourite biscuit versus favourite cake, we've got to find out what the best cake is.
Yeah, so I'm going to...
And, yeah, Marky,
oh,
you got a favourite cake?
Right, let's list 25 cakes first. And then
That's why I put you first.
let's see what we can do. Right, I know Ian loves an Angel Delight cake. Is that a cake? I don't know. That's probably like
It's got cake in the name.
It's just a bloody mushy bowl of flavoured stuff, isn't it? Let's be honest with you.
I didn't think an Angel Delight was a cake. I thought it was more like a pudding.
It's a pudding, Ian. But then what's the difference between a cake and a pudding? That's a very interesting question. Because people like to have cake for dessert usually. But hey, anyway.
Desserting cake?
Desserting cake, yeah. Well... Nice to know that I could have used Jaffa Cake if I wanted to, Milo. Nice, thanks for the help there. That's
And yes, Jaffa Cakes are included.
Well, you were so adamant last week, Ian. God.
It is a cake, that's why.
Yeah, that's why I've written it
It's
down.
in the biscuit
now
aisle.
Ian's law.
Go figure.
yeah, that doesn't make any sense, does it, Ian, if you think about
Eat a
it?
giant Jaffa cake.
Don't.
Oh, I'm sure you'll find one of those in LA. Anyway.
If there's anywhere, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, one thing I do like is, it's not my favourite cake, by the way, but one thing I've recently discovered are Welsh cakes. Welsh cakes are nice.
Oh,
think,
yes, they are.
They're
Yeah.
nice. They're like baked stones. They're the sweet bread, basically, from Wales, but they've turned them into like a nice little sort of treat almost. It's got dried fruit in it. Very nice, actually. I could go down the standard chocolate cake. Yeah, chocolate cake's nice. But I think they can be a bit too sweet sometimes. If you don't like your chocolate, you might want to go for something like a coffee cake or a fruit cake. But anyway, I'm listing too many cakes. That's not fair.
That was only 3 cakes.
It was 4, actually, I believe, Ian. But,
Sure, there's more in
Well, the
there.
Welsh cake is I don't really count as cake.
The ones you're not naming, Marky, the chat is picking up.
So, Bamberg cake's obviously a special taste.
Battenberg.
Yeah,
It's tickling Germans, itch.
And I love a lemon cake as well. I do like a citrus flavour in a lemon cake.
That's his Starbucks
That's
order
my
as
go-to
well.
at Starbucks, yeah.
Which is nice. However, it's got to be a cake, isn't it? It's not a pudding, is it? It's a cake, isn't it?
Cake.
It's got to be a cake.
Because that leaves desserts and puddings open for Ian.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because my favourite pudding, I won't reveal that then, because obviously we'll do that next week maybe. Who said that?
We
Or
won't.
the week after. I'll use it for the getting to know you question then. So I love coffee. When I look at cakes, in the sense, I do like carrot cake actually. Anyway, I keep mentioning different types of cakes. What am I doing here?
Funny that.
This is strange territory. Me going first to the getting to know you question. I am going to pick coffee cake. I love coffee.
Oh.
It's my go-to. And actually, my favourite pudding is a coffee themed one as well. Spoilers. But yeah, coffee cake is my favourite cake, Milo.
Oh, there we go.
Great question.
A fine choice. So, Vasa, we know what you have at Starbucks. Maybe the listeners don't.
Well, okay, so let's go down that road. My go-to at Starbucks, Whitfield knows this very well, Mark knows this well, Sue and Francesco know this very well. I will gravitate straight to the lemon pound cake every single time at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Wish it cost £1 though, Ian, eh? Doesn't, unfortunately. But
I think it's pounds in weight rather than pounds in it costs £1. But anyway, cake is one of my weaknesses, hence why I'm getting a
Biscuits
bit of a
and cake.
collapsing gut. Yes. So I apologise to Milo because I'm going to just do a little cake roll call like Mark did. So I am partial to a Victoria Sponge, a classic.
So long as you don't actually
cake.
name one of them.
It's gorgeous.
Is
The
your option.
Battenberg, again, Battenberg is an amazing cake.
Isn't it?
Really is good. And then, of course, you've got your lemon pound cake, lemon drizzle. But this isn't my favourite, but the one I'm actually going to go for, it's actually right up there, but I couldn't literally pinpoint one cake.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go for New York cheesecake.
oh, Ian.
That was Sue's shout out in the chat there.
I like cheesecake, full stop.
I'm guessing
but
Sue
yeah.
knew I would go for that one because every time we go, especially to New York, I'm just eyeing up the cheesecakes and all of the sort of.
I mean,
diners that we go
cheesecake's
to.
cheesecake at the end of the day. You get
Cheesecake's
loads of
cheesecake.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many varieties, but definitely the New York cheesecake is top of the cheesecakes in my book.
Yeah, it's probably just ahead of the Wiltshire cheesecake, to be fair. That's it. That's very interesting, Ian. Very interesting.
The Wensleydale cheesecake.
Oh, that's a fusion. Oh,
Ugh. A fusion that should not exist.
no.
So come on then, Whitfield, bring this one
Fantastic.
home. What is your favourite cake?
You guys have all named fine things, including the ones that weren't actually your damn picks. So, coffee cake would have been my go-to. In my younger years, I had a much, much, much sweeter tooth than I still do kind of today anyway, and it would have been a chocolate fudge cake all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep forgetting that Battenberg exists until I see it. And I'm like,
Battenberg's amazing.
oh, damn, I should
It
get
is
that.
amazing.
I really
I
should
actually,
buy
at the
that.
weekend, I actually bought a pack of the mini Battenbergs.
The mini ones are terrible because they are just bite-sized.
and they're
You just go,
bite-sized.
Gone.
And the marzipan to cake ratio is really high as well, so they're just delicious.
Yeah. So all fine cake choices.
Can I ask a question? Is your favourite cake an Amsterdam brownie?
No, is a cake and brownie? I mean, Bake Off would have an
They are
argument
quite
with you,
cakey, aren't
Vasa.
they?
A swaddle scone, maybe, Ian? Is that
Swaddle
Scone. Battenberg, look it up, Sue. It's delicious marzipan
So
wraps.
I'll bring some out to the States next week as long as we don't get them taken off as.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to take marzipan
I
into
think we can
America,
take.
Ian.
I think we can take
You can't
cake
bring
in,
that
yeah.
cake here.
Yeah. Just can't take Amsterdam cakes in with you, unfortunately. Ian.
No, we can get Amsterdam cakes out there actually, Mark.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Californian
Yeah.
brownie, perhaps.
very knowledgeable there, Milo.
Well, maybe done some research ahead
Milo's
of time.
like
No,
Seattle, New York, Vegas.
Yeah.
if
Wiltshire.
we were going to pander to the British vote on this one, I would pick the Colin the Caterpillar, the chocolate,
Yes.
the chocolate swirl cake.
Milo.
It's a firm favourite.
Is that what we had for your
of a lot
30th
of
birthday
people.
cake, was it?
I will find out in less than a day's time. I'll let you know on next week's show what was presented to me.
He's had one, I can guarantee.
So,
One.
He had one for his 29th as
He's a
well.
fetus. He's
Probably.
going to get a Colin.
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
Colin. Is it going to be the big one or the small ones? I don't know.
It's Colin, Milo. It's Colin. It doesn't matter.
It's a toss-up between The Battenberg or the Colin the
Hang on.
Caterpillar?
Milo, mate, Milo,
the caterpillar
give
one,
us your
you're
answer
so-
now.
Go for Colin.
Always
Let's
gonna
put
say,
Colin the Caterpillar on the
always gonna say
poll.
plain cake.
Plain cake.
Plain cake.
Milo's like, Madeira cake.
Madeira.
Sponge.
Bland sponge.
Fairy cake. You remember they used to call them fairy cakes? I don't think you can do that anymore.
I don't think they're allowed to
Cupcakes
now.
now,
You
aren't they?
can't.
Yeah, they just call them
You can't in
cupcakes
this
now.
day and age,
They're
no.
angelic angel cakes.
Angelic cake.
And of course, we know
Goodness me.
Francesco's favourite cake. It's panettone.
He actually said tiramisu.
Panettone.
Sorry?
Tiramisu is more of a dessert than a
Tiramisu.
cake.
I didn't
But
even think of
it's good.
tiramisu. That's
No,
not really-
Ian, no, we can't have that because that was the one that I wrote down was tiramisu, but I thought that was a pudding. It was
is a
Yeah,
dessert.
that's not really a cake, is
It's
it?
not a
tiramisu?
cake,
It's not a
No.
cake, it's a dessert.
Yeah.
But that's my answer. Oh goodness, I've revealed my answer.
That would have been my answer for the dessert question too.
Tiramisu.
Oh.
You weren't there, Whitfield. I had that at Starbucks Select in New York for my breakfast.
I know you never shut up about
I know
it.
it was good as well. It was so good.
The best pudding I had there was at Starbucks in Madrid, and that cheesecake. Oh, it was delightful.
Starbucks in Madrid, yes. Taylor Swift was playing constantly.
And rightly so. Rightly
Taylor
so.
Swift was in your cheesecake.
Yeah.
Family
Taylor
friendly,
Swift's very
man.
upset at the moment, actually,
Goodness
isn't
me.
she, Mark?
Yeah, and rightly so because they didn't turn up against the Eagles. It
You
was
know what?
Very
It was decided in the second quarter. Well done,
Wasn't it?
Philadelphia Eagles.
well done, Philly. Actually, it stops
Yeah.
the 3 in a row, which has never happened before. But yeah, she wasn't happy, was she? Ian?
She wasn't happy, and say it was all over in the second quarter. It really wasn't worth watching the second half.
No. Well done. It was good for the British viewers having to watch it at stupid o'clock in the morning. It meant we could all go to bed after half of the event, and we knew where it was going. It's very considerate.
Of course, Milo, we are talking about Super Bowl.
I assume so. Well done, Team Braveries.
Yes.
Go cast.
Googling that really quickly.
It's very go cast there, wasn't he? Ian? Bravery. Bravery.
Well, I think before we start diving down more into Super Bowl shenanigans, and let's get the cakes up on social, shall we?
All right, Milo, chill out.
Mark, you can type away, and let's move it on, Ian, to a couple of events that have been and gone.
Yeah, so we are coming out of a community day, which was pretty much a first in Pokemon Go. We've had dual Pokemon of the same type, just different variations from different regions.
Forms, yeah.
Yes, we've never had a complete, and we called it like this last week, a twofer. We've never had two different Pokemon on the same community day. And of course, last week, as you're listening to this, was Shelmet and Carablast Community Day. So let's just have a quick chat about how we found this one, how our successes were. Did you find a pretty equal balance of shinies, or was it particularly skewed in one or the other direction for you? And whether we think this could be a thing going forwards.
This Com Day, we chatted about it when we saw it announced, and I think really it's actually a solid idea, to be honest. It gives a bit more range and scope to the whole Community Day format, and we've been saying that Com Days needed something
Like a shake
extra,
up, something different, yeah.
something a little bit different to give it a breath of fresh air, shall we say. I actually still did need a shiny Shelmet.
Oh, did you? Oh, yes, you said.
Yeah, never got the family completed, even in 2 and a bit years of gameplay, and it's not for not checking Shelmet, but just never got one beyond 2022. So it was quite, okay, cool, I can finally get one ticked off. However, for me, the one that sparkled constantly was Carablast. It was some crazy percentage of it was 65% shinies were Carablast versus the Shelmet, and it took a lot longer to get the Shelmet shiny, but in the end ticked it off, which was great. I do have to say I wasn't 100%, so I'd say 90 minutes into the Com Day, slowed it down, went home and played on the lures at home. So ended with
played on the loo for a second.
on the no,
put it
didn't get
past
that
him,
far.
Oh, he's there. I thought you were. That's what you were there long enough, Milo. Sorry.
Milo's toilet is very well known for being a shiny magnet.
Oh.
Yes, shiny on the alliteration. We can't say
On the
that
throat,
word.
yes, yeah.
No, that's not alliteration, Ian. But ended the day with 19 shinies, which,
Okay.
honestly, given the state of the Pokemon and what they're actually used for, is more than you're ever going to need. I'll probably throw them away at the end of the day. We did have a couple of hundos pop up because it was rainy boosted for most part of the day, which was really good. Saw some people get the Shundos, which is awesome. The paid ticket delivered big time on this one from shout out to Randy, Viota 12 on that one. I think there were more Carablast shinies coming off of research than in the wild.
Oh, really?
It was the stage 2 where you have all the encounters.
Yeah, you've got like the three alternating ones of each.
Yeah. All 3 Carablasts were shiny. Boom, like that. And not a single Shelmet from paid ticket at all. As things go, I thought it was quite an okay com day, particularly for a com day that's leading up to a major event like Unova Tour. You don't need something that's absolutely ball-out crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing another twofer com day sort of format, but just interested to see where they go with what other Pokemon they could do it with.
Yeah, well, I think any two-stager has the potential. So you just put two stages together, and the scary thing is that opens the door to a hell of a lot of Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. We'd probably be saying we wish we hadn't.
Yeah, but I totally agree. I think it was a good concept. People around here weren't overly hyped about it. There really wasn't that much of a buzz about
here, really.
These mons. Having said that, it was a great idea. I could only muster up the enthusiasm to play for about 90 minutes. So similar to what you said, Whitfield. Yeah. And across the time I played it, I ended up on 15 shinies. Best was a 96%. I can't remember if it was Shelmet or Carablast. 96% Carablast, which was
yellow
nice.
or blue.
I didn't need any going into it, so really this was just looking for XLs, candies, and something decent. So got the 96% shiny Carablast. My shiny rates were heavily skewed towards Carablast as well.
Ah, so you were the same as me.
And I would say it was probably 70-30. I didn't do bad on Shelmet, but there was a lot more Carablast shining for me. And that was a bit frustrating because I did want a decent Shelmet, but as I said, I didn't need either. Other than that, there's not a lot I can say. My research ticket, again, gifted to me also, but didn't provide anything shiny. And I'm still working, as I'm sure that you two are still working through the special background research timed ticket.
Oh, the extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, I was happy with it. I think there is definitely potential for them to do this again, but one concern I do have is that we might end up back in Kanto for another round, but with some of the two stages.
Oh, I really hope not.
I hope
really hope not.
Too. But at least next month, March, is going to be a decent one, which we'll talk about a little later.
Yeah, and I saw somewhere that there was a theory floating around that whatever the February com day is a
it sets the theme for the year.
Sets the tone and the theme for the rest of the year. So
I saw that it was on X somewhere. Yes.
Yeah, floating around the social media cesspool that we may stay clear of Kanto this year, which I would be all for. Personally, Marky, how was your bug infestation?
Johto's not much better, so let's not get too excited, boys.
That's true.
Just putting it out there.
To be fair, I'd say Johto's worse than Kanto.
That's what I mean. So we might be able to turn off for 2025. I pitched this as an idea probably 18 months ago, thinking about dual Pokemon for community days. And I think that this has got legs. Community days, we've gone beyond the one featured Pokemon now. I think certainly if we're going to revisit Pokemon that have been in and out of the game, I think now we can go 2 or 3 different types, maybe go 3. I don't know. I think we have these on December com days where we have 6 on each day. I think we're now in this headspace where we've had events. A lot of these have already been released. They're probably 2-3 years old, some of these shinies now. And why not give newer players that have only been playing for the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, the opportunity to enjoy their community days with other players that have played it for similar times and hunt down these Pokemon? Because a bit like you guys, I didn't care for this community day, but it wasn't because I didn't think it was a good idea. It was purely because I didn't need anything from it. Again, I don't want to be that person, real life and all that. I think if this had been 2 new Pokemon that had never, ever come into the game, I'd have probably played it for the full 3 hours and gone somewhere and played it. I think these weekends are lovely in a way for the day one players, because actually we can pitch how much of it we want to play and we can sort of fit it around things without feeling like we're going to miss anything. So, my experiences from it, I played for about 40 minutes. If that, I got 8 shinies, 5 Carablast, 3 Shelmets, and I got 1 off the research that Batman of Texas kindly gifted to me. So thank you very much. Got a shiny Cara with the background. Looks lovely. Very happy with that. And that's about it. My observations around running around like I was just doing jobs every minute of the weekend on the Sunday was I saw some people out playing it, which was nice to see. And that's the first time I've probably seen that where I live, sort of this side of Christmas in the New Year. It wasn't a nice day. It was quite cold, drizzly. It's a depressing time of year weather-wise. But they're good shinies, like I said before, good shinies. I like the pressure off the research, the ticket. You can do it in your own time. I like the rewards you get off the ticket as well. And long may this format continue. But I think, like we've said, we're gonna talk a little bit more about it later in the show. We're going to see some new stuff come out, which is going to be very exciting. A nice couple of Pokemon. Made sense to trade Pokemon. If you're out with friends playing it, get a good one, want to re-roll them. You don't have to spend any candy to evolve them. So I like that. So it got people working together on the community day. I think that was quite a nice touch. I liked it, but I didn't feel gutted that I only played a small bit of it.
I think that's kind of a similar sentiment to all of us, really. It's just, if you needed the stuff, you would have gone and played for it hardcore.
Yeah, that absolutely.
It was a triple catch XP,
the XP bonus
com day as well. So anybody who needed the XP could have gone for it. It just wasn't, let's say, jaw dropping. We all know that as a com day, but as an initial thing into the 2 Pokemon format, perfectly happy in seeing more of that.
There were a surprising number of people that still needed at least one or sometimes both.
Milo included, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, the event that's running now, Milo still needs the shiny Dunsparce.
Yeah. An English
Still won't
one.
get it.
An English one, Ian.
But anyway, without talking about events that are currently running, the other event that was running last week, which saw the release of the shiny Nimble, which Whitfield smugly broadcasted everywhere that he got one on day one, was the Small Yet Strong event, which again, Whitfield kindly said was me.
Yes.
Probably tongue-in-cheek. But anyway, let's have a quick couple of minutes. I don't think this needs a massive chat, but how did we find this event? Because I've got to say, I went out, I played this in the sort of afternoons and evenings after work, and I got literally nothing from it. So for me, it was a bit of a washout. Marky, did you get a chance to play it? Because I know you've been a little bit sort of preoccupied and busy just lately in the day.
Yeah. I've been obviously working during the week. That's what most people do during the week when it's light. But I did play it a little bit, and on my lunch breaks, I got the new shiny, so I was happy with that. I got a tiny shiny Nimble, which that's
even better.
Very happy with.
Nice.
I thought I got a second one, but then I realised it wasn't a shiny one. I saw the sparkles of the shiny appeal, the tiny appeal. Oh no, it's tiny. It's silver. So not excited. But yeah, I got that. Really happy with that. A missed opportunity. XXS showcases. This was the opportunity to do them.
Yeah.
And this has proven they aren't going to do them in the game. If Small Yet Strong has a boosted small Pokemon in the wild encounter, and they're not going to put a showcase that goes hand in hand with it. So that we can forget about that now. It's never happening, boys. It's never happening.
Sad.
It is sad, but listen, love the tinies, love the large ones, love all that. I love the animations. Makes it a bit exciting. As Ian alluded to, didn't need anything other than the Nimble in it, and got very lucky with that. Got it within about 70 checks, I think it was. 60 or 70 checks, but that's how many times do we check 200 and not get one, or 300 and not get one?
Well,
so
that's a regular thing for me.
Usually for me as well, to be fair. But it's done now, and we move on to the next event. But yeah, come on, Milo, you broadcast it to the whole world. I didn't do
yes,
but go on.
That's what we do. So I got very lucky, yes. Managed to nab a shiny Nimble from the wild. It wasn't a tiny shiny like Marky's, just a regular good old Nimble after about 80 checks into the event, which is obviously very, very fortunate. Very happy to get it. I thought that would be kind of me done and dusted. But this event provided quite a lot of good stuff. Ended up with a couple of shiny Flabébés, completed the shiny Nimble family, and hatched Ian's favourite, the Azurill shiny.
The Azurill.
Is that my favourite?
I don't know. I remember you talking about how you
Pokemon.
Needed it or something like that. I forget exactly.
That was before the hatch day.
I was okay. Yes. No longer Ian's favourite, but it was before. Got quite a lot of good stuff from this event. I did need the Flabébé shinies, be it whatever.
I needed all of them.
Colour flowered, yeah. So I managed to get 2 red flower ones, which completes that line, which is lovely. No joy on those orange and white ones, but they were
the white
rarer.
ones are the ones you want, aren't they? Those orange and white ones are the ones you want, aren't
They're
they?
the rarer, definitely the rarer things. But where I was at is even if you were not potentially playing the events like crazy, if you were just turning the game on for 15 minutes or whatever, maybe to do your daily incense, there didn't seem to be a dull moment when you were clicking the Pokemon, because it was such a big boost, and it felt like an actual first time they decided, right, let's whack up the amount of XXS and XXL Pokemon. So every other Pokemon check was, oh, it's a tiny one, it's a huge one. Constant tiny and huge ones from research. The research for Nimble was everywhere, and that is what you want, a research grind that you can actually go around and say, hey, I'm going to spin some stops in my local area and actually get some things I'm interested in.
Just unfortunately, Milo, sorry to jump in there, just no tiny rats and no large fish. That's what it was missing.
True. No, we're telling them to bring back Kanto. No, bad idea.
That could be a dual format Conde, Magikarp and Rattata. Imagine that one, boys.
Only XXL Magikarp and only tiny Rattata.
Not Magikarp. No, please.
Not Magikarp.
No, you wait. Magikarp Classic coming soon. But as Marky said very eloquently, and I would just 100% agree with it, this was the perfect time to have those tiny showcases arrive in the game, albeit swap in some way, even if it was just for the event, and they didn't do it. So anybody who's got any XXS Pokemon that they're hoping to hold on to in case they change them, just throw them away. Unless you hate a tiny shiny or a tiny hundo or a tiny nundo, they serve no purpose other than to fill up your storage when you do the multi-transfer and say, you appear to have 57. I mean, actually transferring stuff in this event was a pain.
Yeah.
You select everything. You select everything and go, are you sure you want to delete 200 XXS Pokemon? Yes, please. Please throw them away. Unless you're looking for, what was it, the huge Nimble showcases. So yeah, I thought this was actually a surprisingly good event. What about you, Vasa?
I thought it was a good event. The spawns were definitely on point. They were good spawns. But again, RNG tarnished it for me. You two obviously got the new shiny. You're both quite sort of happy and smiley about it. I got bugger all. So a good event spoiled by RNG for me.
Oh.
And if we're scoring it, I'll still give it a 7, although if I'd got a shiny, it would definitely have been a sort of 8, possibly veering on a 9. But
there'll be a certain piece of music.
As I got stuffed, 7. 7!
We're meaning when in Madrid, like, the Orange Flabébé was featured in Madrid.
I didn't get it at Madrid or New York either.
I know, that's the thing. Like, I only got one, believe it or not. Like you said, like, it's boosted shiny. You need 3 for the family.
You need,
Yeah. So I didn't add any more, unfortunately, for the event. But as Ian says, I think the shiny tiny Nimble probably adds a point to it. So I'd probably give it a good 8 for me.
Yeah, and I'll concur with Marky. I'll give this an event a solid 8 out of 10. So good, just general good shiny chases and that crazy boost. It didn't ever feel like a dull moment, really, So that's what we think about those past events, and I'm looking forward to seeing what people's catches were in the favourite section of this show later on. But we've been talking a lot about shiny Pokemon, and I can see a very happy man with a tiny shiny Nimble in his pocket. Marky.
You sure that's a Nimble in his pocket?
If it's not, this is pure disappointment.
You boys are very mischievous.
Green.
That's what I love about you guys. That's what I love about you. Right. It is Shiny Happy Pokemon. And this is the game where I'm going to pick Pokemon. And I'm going to ask you boys, what colour is that said body part on its shiny variant? So if I said, what colour is the body on shiny Victini, you tell me, shut up, Mark, it hasn't got a shiny yet.
We don't know.
We don't know. I'm going to keep it spicy tonight. We're going to have a round where Pokemon aren't featured in Pokemon Go as well. So that'll be quite entertaining, I think, for entertainment's purposes. But we're going to go 3 each. Who gets the most after 3 is going to be the winner tonight.
It's going to be Whitfield, isn't it? Let's be honest.
You'd think that, Ian. You'd think that, but stranger things have happened. I don't quite know what they are, but I'm loving the new Pokedexes in Pokemon Go right now.
It's very snazzy, isn't it?
Isn't it? Oh, my goodness gracious. I actually love this very much. So, it's only fair that we start in Unova as the boys keep going on about the Velars. Good band, actually, Velars. And, there she goes. Yeah. That's what I'll be singing about you boys. There they go. There they go again.
You're going to sing us off at Heathrow.
So there they go again. So anyway, we're going to start Ian, then Milo. I think that is only fair. Ian, I'd like to know from you, what colour are the sticky out bits on Floaty Cottony? It's like little wings.
Well, if you said the body, that's orange. The sticky outy bits.
The little floaty wings, yeah.
I haven't got a clue. White.
If you said the body was orange, I said you were wrong. Its sticky out bits are actually orange.
Oh, are they?
So,
wow.
Unfortunately, and that's a 0 there. This is fantastic. Sorry, you can tell I play the game a lot. Right. So Milo,
Yes.
I'd like to know off you on Shiny Clink. What colour are the centre parts of the cogs? The little centre bits, not the spinning round colours. The centre bits.
Ooh, straight for the throat on these ones.
That's a bit of clink you never look at. This is it. It's a challenge.
We've cranked it up a bit. We've clinked it up a bit, Ian.
Clink, clink, clank.
Clink, clank. Clink, clank.
I have a feeling they maybe don't shift colour. Are they like a sort of, how would I describe it? Not white, like a cream-ish colour?
It's an interesting point there, Milo, because they do change colour.
Do they? Well, I'm just wrong entirely.
And they're also green, so you were double wrong. So, Ian, that's 2 wrongs to Milo on one answer.
Wrong.
On the standoff of El Mexican. Right, Ian, this is one that's been featured wintertime. It's cryogonal.
Miss Snowflake.
The snowflake. I'd like to know, Ian, on cryogonal, it looks like it's dripping beads out of its mouth. You've got these little beady things that are dropping out.
It's from the show, Mark. Steady on.
They're its mouth bits. I would like to know, Ian, what colour are its mouth bits? The bits that dangle down from it's like its whiskers, maybe.
Frosty moustache.
Grey.
They're yellow, Ian.
Yellow snow.
Never eat yellow snow.
Don't do anything with it. Actually, that's probably the safest
away.
bit. Right. So Milo, we're staying in Unova. Joltik's a tiny Pokemon. We love Joltik. Little shiny thing. Nice fluorescent colour on shiny Joltik. Actually,
it's small yet strong.
Small yet strong. Yes, small yet strong.
Hey.
It's an aspiring Pikachu. Spider. So Milo, I'd like to know, on shiny Joltik, what colour are its little toes on the end of its legs?
God. I'm just going to assume that the toes are roughly the same colour as the other accent kind of bits on it. So I'm going to go for sort of, was it like an indigo, sort of dark blue?
Well, they are blue on the original one, Milo, sort of indigo-y blue. They're very dark purple on the shiny, unfortunately. Yeah. I feel quite smug, actually. So we're going to pick 2 Pokemon that aren't in Pokemon Go
We've got to get away from this standoff.
We do. So, Ian, I'm going to go to you first, because we're going to talk about this in a little bit of detail coming up in the show. I'd like to know off you, my man, the main body colour. What is the main body colour on shiny Fuecoco? Because it's shiny body.
I should have prepped for the news, but I actually haven't checked out the shiny of it. So
Marky's played you like you played him last week.
It's normally 1 shift over. Wait, actually, in the old games, it used to be 1 shift over on the palette, but with the newer ones, not necessarily. Orange?
Not far off, Ian. 1 slight shift away from it. It's actually salmon pink. It's like a salmon pinky colour. So, unfortunately, Ian, that is 0 for 3. And Milo, my final question for you is, I'd like to know, what colour are the feet areas on shiny Stonjourner?
Oh my God. I'm just going to go with very dark grey.
Well, if you'd gone for the body part, it would have been dark grey, Milo, but they stay brown. They don't change colour.
Stay brown.
Stay brown. Right.
So, what do we do here? We just complete losers.
Right, I'm going to give you boys
to
one
be
guess.
Continued.
It'll be a nice score draw if neither of you get this right. So, I recently registered a Pokemon for the Unova region. It's very recent in an event that featured Unovan Pokemon, and it's one that is Dynamaxable. Guys, open fire round, have a guess, and just keep guessing until we get there.
Well, all Pokemon are Dynamaxable.
In the game.
In the game. Sorry, I should have
Pogo.
clarified. It's out in Pokemon Go as Dynamax. It's recently been available in Dynamax, like most of them have been, and it's a shiny that I hadn't got to that point. Someone traded it me. And I'll give clues as we go further down.
What's been Dynamaxable recently? that's Gen 5?
I can't think of anything that's Gen 5.
The only thing I can think of is Cryogonal, but I'm sure you got that on the research day.
Oh, he didn't say it was done this weekend. That probably is his most recent one.
His most recently...
Go on, call it, because you did
Shiny.
Most recently added Unovan Shiny.
Yeah.
Is a Dynamax possible Pokemon.
Yeah. And it's a ground type.
Oh, Drillbur.
Correct.
No way.
Yeah. There we go.
Like
Guys,
play
I
your-
was
play your
awful there,
decks
but I thought
right.
we'd do something different for the show. We always dance around the nice stuff, don't we? Let's...
We like a challenge.
You
More
know what,
losses.
It had to be Unova, didn't it? With Unova Tour coming up in literally next week.
Yeah.
And actually, did you realise that Unova Tour last year in LA, we actually had 4 days because they started a day early for the city experience. This year's only 3 days.
Sad.
But that leads up to something quite nice, doesn't it? Because talk about Unova and LA.
It's funny, that.
It's the news.
Ian, you've completely skipped.
LA Ian.
It is the news, yeah.
It's the news. It is actually news. No, it is news.
It's not on my show notes, sir.
Milo,
It
behave.
is news, isn't it? We're actually telling people some information.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just not
I'll
news
I'll
from-
make a note of this insubordination. Crack on.
So, as Whitfield is
A blithering idiot.
grimacing at me playing the jingle early for some actual news that features, well, Pogo Milo UK and Ian Waterfall from Incensed Podcast, as well as admins I Am Pyrrhus and Hermes Ninja. We will be at the Unova Tour in LA, and we will be at the Rose Bowl Stadium all 3 days. Now, we haven't specified what times we'll be doing meetups, but we will be there every day, recording and doing meetups. And keep an eye on socials because we will be posting our meetup times in the next day or two.
Yes. Information will be going out very, very soon.
So, yes, we will be at the Rose Bowl Stadium. We will announce our exact location, but it will be somewhere in the sort of Niantic area, not too far from the Notable Trainer meetup point. But we will need tables and chairs, so it might not be exactly there, but we'll announce full location once we've scoped the venue out, and we will be announcing times before Tuesday.
Yes, and the reason we're saying this now on this show is it gives you guys time to make a note and remember, because we'd like you to get involved if you're there in the live show, be it with a Shinies of the Week from the Rose Bowl, or potentially to play in some of the live games we'll have going on. So there you go. We will be in LA. Hopefully we'll see you soon. But jumping back into the Pokemon Go news.
Would you like the jingle again, Whitfield?
Yes,
Yes?
please.
Okay. Kids.
It's the news.
Show host.
Never has that been pulled out, that
No,
card, Ian.
in
Did you
4
notice
years,
that?
never has anyone pull that card.
4 years in. Anyway.
You're not even 30 yet. You're still in your 20s before you get all bullshit.
And Ian, I made a prediction 4 years ago here in my envelope that the first person to
what's
pull
he written down?
the show host card would be Milo.
There we go.
There we
What
go.
a funny coincidence.
29 I put on it as well. Interesting, but hey.
Really? Just one day remaining. Maybe that's it. Easing into being a miserable old
Oh.
God knows what. Anywho, there is actually some good news.
What?
I'll tell you for what. Marky dropped the Shiny Fuecoco info in the Play Your Decks right earlier. Well, Fuecoco has been confirmed to be March's Community Day on March the 8th from 2 to 5 p.m. your local time.
Yes.
Oh, yes, the fiery pink CROC is coming, boys.
It is going to have a featured attack, yes. The featured attack is if you evolve Crocalor or Crocalor, which is Fuecoco's evolution, during the event up to a week afterwards. Up to a week afterwards.
Up to a week?
Wow. To
Jeez.
get Skeledirge. Is it Skeledirge?
Skeledirge.
Skeledirge.
Yeah.
It will know the charge attack Blast Burn. And Blast Burn has some numbers involved in it.
We don't do numbers.
No.
In addition to the Blast Burn special Community Day move that Skeledirge can learn, Skeledirge will also be able to learn from the Community Day a new move, a charge attack called Torch Song. And with this bad boy, in Trainer Battles has a power of 70, and it will increase the user's attack by 1 stage. So if you're a Baguette player, then it could potentially be useful. I don't know.
Bring your
But
fiery
in gyms
baguette.
and raids, it has a power of 100, whatever that means.
I'm pleased you said that because I was going to say, Ian, what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. I preempted your question. But one question that I know you want to ask, Mark, is will there be a Community Day ticket? Well, the answer is simple. Yes, there always is. $2 US or the equivalent will buy you the Fuecoco Community Day exclusive special research that will reward you premium items like battle passes, rare candy, XL, and encounters with Fuecoco and its evolutions. That's pretty much it, really. There's probably going to be some special background Pokemon in there as well, but yeah, $2, special research, and it can be gifted if you really, really want to do that.
But not refunded.
Not refunded.
Now, obviously, there's more background goodness with the special background timed research, and this is the research we've got accustomed to that lasts for the week following the event. You just got to basically log in during March's Community Day to receive this timed research, and you'll get a couple of backgrounds, which is quite nice with a seasonal background because it will be a different season. So it'll be a different
it shouldn't have
background.
that.
It won't be a Dual Destiny
No.
one. It'll be whatever placeholder title here.
Yeah, I hope it's a better background in the new season now. I've lost a bit of interest in the silver tiley square looking backdrop. But one thing that's probably a little bit more exciting than the current background you get on featured Pokemon are the event bonuses. This is a Stardust catching Pokemon
yes.
Community Day event. So we're going to get 3 times Stardust for catching Pokemon. There will, of course, be the 2 times candy for catching Pokemon as well. Yeah, 2 times chance of trainers level 31 above to receive candy XL from catching Pokemon. Get your megas right for this one, obviously. And you get even more good stuff from your candy catchers. What would you be using? Milo, Mega Charizard? Would that help us on this Community Day? Probably.
Mega Charizard, either form. Mega Blaziken, Mega Camerupt if that's come to the game. Primal Groudon. Primal Groudon will be the solid one.
Learn modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. And the incense, that's our tool here. The incense, excluding the daily adventure incense, activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Take a few snapshots during Community Day for a surprise. How many is that, Ian?
It's, I believe, 5.
Always.
It probably will always be 5, unless it's 5.
Unless you forget.
Unless you forget. It might be 1. There'll be 1 additional special trade that can be made for a maximum of 2 for the day. And trades will require 50% less Stardust. And there's a little asterisk against those last couple of things there. Whilst most bonuses are only active during the 3-hour event period, these will be active from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. local time.
And there will also be field research by spinning Pokestops, and that will get you rewards such as Stardust, Great Balls, and encounters with Fuecoco. Of course, there will be the usual showcases. That's pretty much a given these days. And let's face it, they're likely to be Fuecoco or its evolutions.
And for XXLs. And finishing up the whole event article, of course, there's going to be some event bundles available in the shop. The bog standard 1350 Pokecoin box with the Elite Charge TM will be there. And you'll have a 480 box that's going to be somewhat a waste of your Pokecoins, really, for 30 Ultra Balls, 1 Incense. 3 Super Incubators, I take it back, actually, and 1 Learn Module. It could be worse as a deal, to be honest. Well, there we go, boys. That's next season's first Com Day. We're straight back in with another Gen 9 starter. Are we content with the Fuecoco content?
I am, but I genuinely didn't think it would be 2 months after we had Spriggy. I thought it would probably be April or May.
And probably Quaxley.
And Quaxley would be later in the year. I think at this rate, they'll have gone through all of these starters by summer.
Yeah, I think we said the same thing about Litten last year, because it sort of burnt 2 starters in the first 3 months of the year, and then Poplio was August, so quite a big chunk of time between them. And it's like, okay, I mean, sure, I love Fuecoco. It's my favourite Gen 9 starter. Great Pokemon. How usable it is, I forget, but Triple Dust Com Day really can't argue with that at all.
You can't go wrong. I've already had the Italian message me go, Community Day in Ealing. I'm like, bloody hell, let us get back from LA first.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, Marky would have been in Ealing the weekend before with Global anyway.
Yeah, it's Francesco. Let's revisit that. There might be other places to play.
You know, there are other places than Ealing. And I know we didn't do Ealing a lot last year, but it would be nice to do this one together, but on the road somewhere.
Yeah, you can't really use that whole phrase anymore.
No, because last year we only did Ealing, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, only 3 times, to be fair.
I mean, it is 3 more times than where you live and 2 more times than where I live.
Who knows? But what I think I do know is it's going to be nice to see a new shiny Pokemon in the game, isn't it? And I think
it is, and for Coco, it is a nice Pokemon.
Then I like the Gen 9 starters, except Quaxley. I think they're all
same,
right. I'm only messing. It's a shame because Quaxley gets a tough deal, like Oshawott does, doesn't it? You know, it's like they're actually all right.
Get a rough deal.
They always get a rough deal, but they're great designs. And I didn't think it'd come out this early, but like I didn't realise the first 2 were quite close to each other, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like you said, then it's like the gap between the 3rd one going into the back end of the year. And GoFest will be done by then. Won't be tied. That's a scary thought. We'll be hunting down Quaxley's in Grantham probably, or G-Town. But
I never suggested we'll come up here.
No, I would. For anything water, I'll come to you, Ian. That's the
Yes,
them's the rules, Ian.
hometown.
Them's the rules.
It's a must.
But you know what? Talking about fun, I think Niantic have kind of given us a bit too much fun, haven't they? For
There's
the
too
next
many
season.
STDs.
Yes.
There is. Yeah, we've been given some STDs and quite a few of them as well, actually. I think this is like battleships. They've scattered them all over the board. If you can avoid hitting one of these, you've done very, very well. Yeah, we've spoken about Fuecoco Community Day, obviously, on March the 8th. But yes, on Saturday, March the 22nd, we'll have a Community Day Classic. I just don't know what it is yet.
Yes, Sunday, April the 27th, we will have a standard Community Day.
And then on Sunday, May the 11th, we'll have a standard Community Day.
And we'll also have a Community Day Classic, which will be on a Saturday, which is May the 24th. So
May
both
the
Community Day
24th
Classics
be with you. Yeah.
on Saturdays. Yeah, look at that, eh?
Almost.
Now, Community Days aside, Niantic have decided in their infinite wisdom, thank you, Niantic, that we will not have a single weekend off, and they will try and fill every single possible day within these weekends. So, on Saturday and Sunday, March 8th and 9th, yes, it does overlap for a Fuecoco Community Day, there will be a Max Battle weekend.
And then, following that, the next weekend, March the 16th, that'll be a Sunday, is going to be a Catch Mastery, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, so don't worry. The day after your Community Day Classic on Sunday, March the 23rd, you're going to have a raid day.
Yep, the following week, Saturday, March the 29th, there will be a Research Day.
That's just before we go to the next one. Something's happening that day that a lot of people will be doing. Oh, yes, City Safari is happening that weekend.
Oh, do you think Niantic forgot?
About city safaris in 4 different cities across the world. Anyway, moving on. April the 5th, Saturday, is going to be a raid day.
Don't worry, though, that weekend, if you can only play an event on one of the days... Oh, no, hold on, there's another event on the Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, April the 6th, there's a hatch day.
Yeah, and it just keeps going. Sunday, April the 13th, we got a raid day.
Another one.
Another one.
Then the very next weekend after that, on April the 19th, which is a Saturday, we've got a Max Battle Day.
Yeah, the weekend after that, you obviously got Community Day, but then the weekend after that, on Saturday, May the 3rd, we have a raid day.
Yep. But we keep going. Niantic they're relentless. Saturday, May the 17th, there is a Shadow Raid Day.
And the final STD to come through for next season, May the 25th, yes, the very next day after May's Community Day Classic, there is another Max Battle Day. And breathe.
But stay tuned, there will be more details.
But stay tuned, because there are more events on the horizon.
I mean, looking on the positive side, at least it's going to keep us busy in the content space.
It's too much content, good content, though. That's the question, isn't it?
That's my worry with all of this, is like, we've seen Niantic scraping the bottom of the barrel with some of these events in the past and what is provided, shall we say. So, I don't know, if they're rattling through raid days and Max Battle Days very, very quickly, are they just hoping to get all the content done and dusted in the next 2 years? Bing, bang, boom, out of here. See you later.
I mean, it does make you think. I mean, March 8th and 9th, I don't think there's anything to worry about because it's Max Battle weekend, so it will literally just be, I would assume, a Max Mon that is in Raid rather than a solid event.
Yes.
So that one isn't too bad. But it is, I mean, we said a second ago, it is relentless. That season is going to be carnage.
The other thing, actually, and this was something I thought of, when I saw this announced, these are all major weekend events. Each of those events comes with a paid ticket add-on, and each of those events, bar perhaps the Catch Mastery, if you want to do more than 1 or 2 max battles or the 5 free passes, requires you to buy stuff in the game.
Incubators or raid passes, yeah.
And this is all of next season. This is not including March's regular events that run from Tuesday or Wednesday through to, well, Saturday now for some reason. They don't even go to Sunday these days. So regular events aren't even included in this one. Then you've got our favourite of Max Mondays, the Spot Hours, the Raid Hours. I honestly think there is too much in this calendar.
I think there is a danger that they could burn out the player base with this. That's a lot. Let's be straight down the line. That is a lot.
Yeah, we used to say, didn't we, in jest? We used to go sneaky Niantic. This isn't very sneaky. This is very damn obvious. They're trying to fill every weekend
This is just
up.
slapping you in the face, isn't it? This isn't sneaky at all. This is just
Here's a ticket. Here's a ticket.
Yeah,
Have another ticket.
Buy now. I mean, obviously, as you can say, you don't have to buy the in-game ticket, of course, but each of these events will have a ticket, and then we know that all of the regular events typically come with a ticket anyway, so that next season is going to be a pricey one. And I don't necessarily mind an event on a weekend, but when you've got back-to-back ones, so you've got Saturday and Sunday covered with constant events, and then it's every single week. There isn't like, okay, we've got Raid Day and Hatch Day in one weekend, but then the next weekend is off. And it all starts instantly after we've just finished Unova Tour Global.
It really,
and that
really
is
does.
going to be an expensive weekend for everybody who's remote raiding, etc. God knows what. That's the big end of season, and it's almost like Niantic are like, right, you aren't taking a breath, get back under, get back to battling,
well, it is,
and give
isn't
us
it?
your
And
money.
we've always said, look, you don't have to play all these events, but that will generate a hell of a lot of FOMO for people, and people, a lot of people, unless you're like super casual, are gonna feel somewhat obliged to play at least some of these events.
Yeah, there used to be a sketch. I can't remember the comedy show it was, but they played a bit on like when you go to the cinema, and like there'd be trailers on before the film started. And the sketch used to go trailers, and then it'd be like, and another trailer would play, go, and another trailer would play, and another. It'd be like more trailers. You could have more trailers. And like the film started like 40 minutes sort of after the start time was listed because of all the trailers. Feels like that with events at the moment in Pokemon Go. Have an event, have another event. Do you know what? Don't just play it on Saturday.
Events for everybody.
Yeah, constant events. The worry I have with all of this is that, are they looking at their data, their famous data of all this stuff, and perhaps they think, oh, people only seem to really chirp up when there's a max battle day or a raid day or a research day, because we like those events, 3-hour window, good shiny rate, something to do, kind of targeted, etc. Rather than looking and maybe going, perhaps we should look at what we do with the regular events that are week-long things and stop making them either very dull or whatever. Let's put a bit more effort into our thoughts. No, let's just spam as many of these short window events into the calendar as we can do. And I agree with Ian, it will generate community burnout. I feel sorry for any community ambassador who has to host this sort of stuff. Like, they can't have a life. Where's their work-life balance with,
Well, that's
with
right.
that?
We don't making content.
No,
Especially
exactly.
next quarter.
Yeah.
Just want a little disclaimer there. We do think the community ambassadors do have lives.
At the moment,
Some of them
not
don't.
next season.
Some of them don't.
Not next season, apparently.
No,
But it is something very serious to think about, really.
And not taking anything away, we all do love 3-hour events, but when you have got both Saturday and Sunday of the same weekend blocked out, what can you do? You can't plan anything outside of Pigo.
Yeah. It's like Pokemon Go is your life.
Let's. It won't be. But anyway, it's.
I guess we'll strongly suggest people very much wait for the specific event announcements and judge accordingly.
Predictions. What are we thinking then?
Oh God, predictions.
Oh, Christ, no.
Damn.
So do we think the Max Battle Days could be the Kanto starters, G Max ones? Do you think they might put them in there?
I think they'll hold off on those.
Okay, well, that makes it exciting then, Milo.
Yeah.
Great. All right then. Moving on.
There's just too many
possible
events.
They could put them in the Max
Battle weekend. Yeah, I was thinking that, Ian. I think there's no reason to hold off on them now. People have played them. They're in the game. The mechanics understood. It's a weekend, easy to arrange.
People have now got counters and there's the access to the Max Mushrooms. It would make them somewhat easier, but would they re-release them so soon? Milo might have a point. I don't know, but that would be the opportunity, the Max Battle weekend.
Yeah, potentially. It very well could be. I think you're right. And I know that people are going to be out on March the 8th because it's the Com Day. So people will be out and about playing the game, whether they want to detract from getting shiny Fuecoco to then take on the overgrown Charizard.
Well, you say that, but one of the tasks from this past weekend community was win a tier 5 raid.
Yeah, but that's a tier 5 raid, not a max battle.
Yeah, but still, it could be. It could be, though, couldn't it? That could be like the...
They'd have to add the task in, but yeah, it theoretically could be. Looking at all of this, I don't like overlapping events, and I really don't like that they've got something that actually... From looking at past experiences, and I think Barside 2, Paul in chat, has had experience of this with City Safaris in the past. Research days overtake your City Safari experience, so you lose those 3 hours where we might want to be going for the shiny Mudbray stuff in the research tasks.
Yes, but I'm going to say something now, and it's a hot take. I'm going to feel Milo's very essence hating me. There's, 3, maybe 4 City Safaris around the world. The vast majority of trainers won't be doing City Safari.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, the minority will be doing the City Safari. The absolute minority will be doing. It's not like Go Fest overlapping a Conde makeup with Slackoff in Dortmund. This is an absolute minority. It'll be people within 2 mile radius of Milan, won't it, Ian, that will be playing it. And the rest of the world won't be. So it's
this is a fair point, but also the people who are going to those live events, which are the ones that my auntie like to go on social and say, "Oh, look at all these people! Hey, fantastic!" I think in the past they've extended the event to make up for the 3 hours that get affected potentially, but then it's like you're on your feet and you have another 3 hours to play on an already long day.
Well, Mark will be going to the football, and I will not be. I will not be staying out till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, Ian, we shouldn't be. Damn them. They're making this game unplayable.
Sneaky Niantic.
Sneaky Niantic.
It's very sneaky.
It'd be like though, won't it, Ian, in like the Scrubs.
Yeah, JD,
sort of JD Connect 4. Sneaky death. Sneaky. There's a lot of clutter there, you know, and I say this, my closing bit on it with love is like, listen, at the end of the day, we all play the game how we play it. That doesn't change. It depends how good the events are. You know, we're assuming they're all going to be belters. They might be. And that might be where the FOMO will get driven from.
That they're likely not to be, though.
Exactly. You know, we might get like a flipping a wishy-washy raid day, maybe. I don't know.
A wishy-washy raid day? Yeah, it's not even been released. That would be amazing.
That'd be a new one. Great.
That'd be cool, actually, wouldn't it? But bad example. It might be a Charmander raid day.
Charmander Max Battle weekend.
But let's rewind to the beginning of the show. Mark played 30 to 40 minutes of community today. I played an hour and a half, and Milo, you played an hour and a half normally, and then the rest from your kitchen.
Bedroom.
Oh, bedroom, okay.
Exactly. What does that say?
Well, it's Carol Blast and Shelmer.
It was a new one for you, Milo. But the point, it was a new one for you, and you still were
Had it been Dunsparce Community Day, Milo would have been out for 3 hours.
You'd probably flown somewhere, got ahead of time, and played another 3 hours.
Perhaps.
But do you know what I mean, Milo? Like, there's no shade or anything, because obviously there was 2 in there, and you didn't need one of them. But you know, if that had been a new Pokemon that none of us had shinies on, we'd have probably played it, wouldn't we? Do you
We'd have played it more, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 100% agree with that statement.
And within that, unless they're new shiny releases, the chances are we're probably not going to feel the need to. Well, we don't know what they are yet. Let's not put the cart before the horse.
Yeah, let's find out.
We go with that then, Ian.
I just wonder if this is now, this is going to be the new norm.
I think it could be, and that is a
you're not
scary
even.
thought.
There's not just going to be 52 events on the weekends in the year, there's going to be back-to-back ones. So you're going to get
it's probably going to be upwards of 70.
Up to 70 events. You think, how many tickets are they going to do? How many items, etc.? It's I don't know. I don't like
burnout of players. It's burnout of players' wallets.
Yeah, it seems like a very short, sharp kind of cash grab strategy to like, right, let's milk this element of the game as much as we can do, rather than actually focusing on the bits of the events that you could do for free and then making the paid stuff kind of exciting as well. We'll have to see, shan't we? But talking about paid elements of the game, there are 2 legendary bosses making their return for the course of February. Let's whack on our counterbro hats, shall we?
So yes, Whitfield, there are 2 legendaries coming into raids. And the first one we'll talk about this week is Yveltal, the Bacon Bird, my favourite, great shiny. This bad boy has a max CP of 2160. 2701 is its weather boosted form, and it is a dark and flying type, which basically means it is weak to electric, fairy, rock, and ice.
Ice baby.
Ice baby. Absolutely. And there's tons and tons of counters that you could jump in with. But I'm going to pick probably my favourite one, good old Circuitry, the Cable Tie Ultra Beast, Thundershock and Discharge on that one, whether it's the lovely vibrant blue shiny or the standard black one.
So yeah, I'm going to throw in a Shadow Pokemon, I think. And it's one of my favourite, actually. It's Shadow Zappy. It's up there, certainly in the top 10, holds its own. And that is with the dual electric movesets of Thunder Shock and Thunderbolt.
I'm going to go in with a Mega, and if you've got a decent one, could be quite effective. Mega Diancie with Rock Throw and Rock Slide.
I shall certainly be bringing that one in, that's for sure. Now, this is the previous Legendary Raid Boss. It's just been available for everybody who couldn't get it in Elite Raids. Enamorus, the on-cloud floaty version with Fairy Wind and Dazzling Gleam, is a really good fairy-type Pokemon, so good pick.
A good rank number 27 as well.
The Valentine's, yes, Valentine Pokemon.
The Valentine Pokemon. I'm going to pick one right in the middle. Zeki. I love a Zeki. And Zeki with Charge Beam and Fusion Bolt loves a Bacon Bird.
Yes, it does. And one of my favourites, one of most people's favourite Pokemon, is Rayquaza. So you could take a regular Rayquaza in, but if you've got the Mega Rayquaza with Dragon Tail and Dragon Ascent is really what you want to be taking into this raid.
And for my final pick, it's going to be top counter tier, ultimate DPS. If you got yourself a decent Shadow Rampardos, that thing will die very, very quickly, but will do damage to a good standard.
I got one here that I know Milo likes. It's Tapu Koko.
Love it.
Tapu Koko. And this one likes to die as well, but not as much as Shadow Rampardos. But if you use the Electric and Fairy dual set moves of Volt Switch and Nature's Madness with 1S, that's a good one in there, mid-tier one as well.
And for my final Pokemon counter for this bad boy, I'm going to go for a former Community Day Pokemon. It's Evolution Rhyperior with Smackdown and Rock Wrecker. It's okay. It's not top tier, but it will suffice.
There we go. And if you're looking to take on the Overgrown Deer Pokemon, Xerneas, it has exactly the same stats as Yveltal. So same CPs at both regular and weather boosted. However, it's a mono fairy type, which means it's weak to 2 things, steel and poison.
Which is why, with its double flying moveset, this is actually a very strong counter against it. Mega Ray you can use it there, obviously right up there.
It's always in there.
It's up there, yeah, with Air Slash and Dragon Ascent.
Yeah, I know Milo wants to go for the number 1 counter, so what I will do is I will go for the number 2, which is Shadow Metagross with Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. That will do some damage.
Thank you very much, Vasa, for leaving me the absolutely majestic Duskmane Necrozma. That thing with Metal Claw and Sunsteel Strike that not only was in GoFest last year, but also in its own raid day at the end of last year. That thing is the prime counter, should we say?
And I've heard a rumour it can take down a shuckle on its own. So,
wow.
Potentially.
Crazy.
Absolutely. Well, we've got the Duskmane one in there. We might as well get the Bat one in there as well. And the Crosby Bat Wings is it in there? Dawn Wings with Metal Claw and Moongeist Beam as it moves out.
Yeah, I'm coming down the list as well somewhat. Nihilego, little Ultra Beast, Jellyfish with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb. You know, it's not too shabby.
Speaking about not shabby, if anyone has this powered up, massive shout out to you. Jirachi with Charge Beam and Doom Desire. Yes, you can feasibly use that as a counter.
I've heard a rumour that Steve in Norway has probably got one of these bad boys.
I expect to see him letting us know on socials.
It's definitely leveled up to level 50. I had the pleasure of doing that as well. So fair play to and listen, this is a right cluster of them, but all the Genesects are also in there in the mix, and that's Douse, Shock, Chill, Normal, and Burn Genesects, as I'd call them, all with Metal Claw and Magnet Bomb. Our team of them.
So as Mark picks 5 counters, my final counter will be another Community Day Mon. If you're really struggling, you've just got this Community Day Mon. You know what? If it's all you've got, take it in. It will do the job. Roserade, which of course is the evolution of Roselia, with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb.
And this one is a prime counter that possibly nobody's going to have too many of. Naganadel, the evolved version of Poipole, with Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, is a very feasible poison type attacker. It's interesting to see it featured, but there you go. Hopefully, the counter bros have helped you somewhere along the road to be able to take down the Bacon Bird and the Grey and Blue Stag. Now, they're in here in the raid system for quite a while over the course of February, so very best of luck. But something that is about as sturdy as a set of antlers.
Wow. Yeah, you heard it first. Coming to LA, half a cardboard pole. There we go. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. But yeah, we put out on X to our lovely audience and listeners the question that needs answering. What's your favourite cake? And
yes.
Yeah, I think we do ask some in the dark spots that X has on it. We are the shining beams of light that come out of the dark clouds. And yeah, thank you to everybody that got involved here. And let's go with some of the responses first. And we've got a gift from a person called I Am Pyrus, always cheese. And he's got James May putting a block of cheese on his table and just saying cheese.
Cheese.
Love it, cheese. Lucy Davis has put, darn, I'm too late to vote. Oh, damn phone being in charge. Don't know what one I'd like the most. Has not tried any of them that I remember. But I do love strawberry cheesecake. So maybe the New York cheesecake. It's the wrong answer, Lucy, but we're well done. No, only messing. David Silverman has put Colin or Cuthbert, Letty, Morris, Wiggles, Charlie, Cecil or Slinky, depending on your preferred supermarket. Very good, David. Very good. Those is animal cakes. I'm very impressed.
Clearly in the know.
So Sue's put, first time I don't need to do a write-in vote. New York cheesecake for the win. Versatile, delicious, prevents osteoporosis, which is important. And what more could you want in a dessert? I love cheesecake as well, to be honest with you, Sue. So
it's any excuse.
Any excuse. Kindernata, that's at Kindernata1 has put, I missed the vote, but completely down with Colin. Keep up the awesome work, boys.
Well, could potentially win this.
Keep up the awesome work,
everyone's
boys.
saying Colin, but they didn't get in time to vote.
Do you know what? I love seeing some new people commenting on the polls. So we've got Jack MYG, that's at Red Zone UK, has put, this really good Pikachu cake. I'm not going to show it you guys. Check it out on X. It's a scary looking Pikachu. It looks horrific. It looks
fabulous.
like Winnie the Pooh, the
I'll
wrong
just imagine
version
when
of Winnie.
Pikachu goes public domain.
Poor Pikachu. Steve Phillips, we talked about him a minute earlier, actually, with level 50 Jirachi. Steve Phillips, Steve from Norway, has put cheesecake, and then in brackets, from any city for the win. Coffee cake, one of you is a wrong un and no mistake. Thank you, Steve. You knew that was me. You're a lovely, lovely person. Mark Bailey, I love Mark because he's got a right old little story going because he has multiple votes in his household. And Mark Bailey's put, Noah voted for the cowboy hat caterpillar cake.
Yes.
I'd have gone with the New York cheesecake for sure. I'm half expecting Ian to have gone with the New York cheesecake, Milo the Caterpie cake, and Mark with the coffee cake.
Wow,
Looking forward
well
to
done,
Sunday to
Mark.
see if I'm right. Well, Mark.
You know us too well.
You know us too well. You know us too well. Oh, my days. We've got a few on here. Chicken Chaser 89. Chicken Chaser. He's put, I'm a big cheesecake enjoyer, but let me also submit the red velvet cake with cream cheese frosting.
I'm actually surprised
Good
Milo
shout.
didn't bring red velvet cake up, actually. It is a bit posh.
It's tempting.
Biscottian red
Colin.
velvet cake for the win.
Bristolian velvet cake.
Bristolian velvet cake.
Bristolian velvet cake. And Oscar, thank you for seeing out the comments on this one. Wannabe archaeologist, that is our man Oscar, has put Colin my man all the way.
Yeah.
Definitely Marky Boy's suggestion. Wow.
That
Wow.
was a pleasant surprise.
Well,
that it
Oscar.
wasn't.
Do your homework, sir. Right.
The fetus always goes for the child's cake.
The child's cake. Exactly. He's got all with candles in it. You can see it, can't you, Ian? He's seen the box already on top of the fridge. Right. Here we go. Yeah, anyway, we got the results in, and here we go. So in third place, with 24% of the vote, was the coffee cake.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That's actually surprising.
And that means in second place with 28% of the vote, Colin the Caterpillar.
Colin!
I'd be more concerned if we had loads of young people listen to an adult, it's a family-friendly podcast. I'm only joking.
Family-friendly podcast talking about cake.
Yeah, 28% of you like Colin the Caterpillar. And that means the winner, and it's a big W tonight, with 48% of the vote, that is the New York cheesecake. And thank you to the 29 of you that voted for this.
Oh, nice.
To be fair, there was an extra vote for each of the top two, so it wouldn't have changed anything. So thank you everyone for getting involved.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks very much for letting us all know your favourite cake options. I'm sure that Ian won't be diving down the whole sweet edible thing next week. We'll be taking a break from it. But something we're never going to be taking a break from.
Shinies of the week.
So our first shinies of the week this week is from very own patron Kerry, Dinkin Bop's mama, hashtag shinies of the week. Zachary was extremely excited to get a shady Cubone. I think that should be shiny. He's hoping he can evolve it into an Alolan Marowak if they bring that option back. And great shiny. With the name JT Valor. P.S. It's called JT Valor because he was watching one of his videos. LOL.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, GG's.
Jumping into our Patreon exclusive Discord into the Flex It Good channel, Tony of Pride, I believe this is during the course of the small yet strong event, managed to nab a Hundo XXS Joltic. Big congratulations on that one. Fantastic. And it is by far and away the smallest you have ever seen.
Mike Griffin, thank you for posting on X, my man. At Incense Podcast, not at Shines of the Week, hashtag Shines of the Week, but we still found it, Mike. You got lucky. Finally, my first ever Shundo off page 3 of the ticket today. Yes, and yes. Escavalier Shundo. It's lovely. I'm slightly envious. It's a beautiful shiny. Well done, Mike.
Your first Shundo is always an insane thing. Pulling it off of Comdo research. Amazing job.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, GG's. Charlie Todd says, hashtag Shinies of the Week, or is it hashtag Shinies of the Week? It's not YS, it is IES. Well done for putting both spellings in there, but I think we did clarify that very early in the show's run if you were listening back in 2021. Anyway, you did put the right hashtag in there. Hey boys at Incense Podcast. I thought I'd go to Raid Hour as I skipped it last week. I'm glad I did, as we did some Moltres. 2 for 2 on Moltres. And Charlie Todd got 2 shiny Moltres, D-Max, and 2 shiny Dialga. That is a great hour's work. GG's, man.
Worth missing the previous raid hour for. Nicely done. jumping into the hashtag Shinies of the Week Discord channel, we've got Listlist Sparkle here. Not a shiny, but listening to the podcast, I hatched my 4th Hundo Amora. Hashtag Shinies of the Week. Hashtag actually listening to the podcast.
Hey,
yes, nice little Hundo fossil hatch. Very nice indeed. Big congrats.
And we're going to go back to X. Mark Bailey, who, he had a very good community day. It was so cold. We kind of quit after an hour and a half.
Hey, funny that.
Yeah. Funny story. I think we can all resonate with that. We let the Go Plus do some of the work on the way home. That's hashtag Shinies of the Week. Catch Card Shiny was nice from Win 5-star raid or higher. Just a shame the Catch Card is kind of a disappointing graphic. Couldn't agree with you any more on that. But yeah, 15 Shinies, Carablast, Shelmet, and all the like. And yeah, the one with the background was a 14, 15, 12. Well done, Mark.
Well done. GG's.
GG's indeed. And thank you again, everybody who sends in your hashtag Shinies of the Week across all of our different socials.
Keep them coming.
And that is going to wrap up episode 210 here and now. So we thank you very much for listening and hope you enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure that you follow or subscribe on the podcast platform of choice that you're listening to us on. We never miss a week here. Every Sunday, there is always a fresh episode drop for you to enjoy. Even with the LA live event and other live events, there's always something. So keep on coming back. And a 5-star review would be smashing, or a written review in some way, just so we could give it a shout out. That would be greatly appreciated. Get involved in our socials. We've already listed them all. X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and many more. You can get involved with conversations with us about various different events, give your points of view and feedback, and of course, hashtag Shinies of the Week to get involved with that section. But of course, we wouldn't be here continuing to create this podcast 4 years on were it not for the wonderful Patreon supporters we have backing this show. So everybody on the bronze, the silver, and the gold tiers. We always say it in every single show, but thank you very much for taking your support that much further. It really does make a huge difference to the quality of the show we're able to produce and what we're able to do with it beyond. And we've been giving shout outs to the silver tiers recently, so let's continue that trend with, I think I've done it the last 3 weeks. It feels like. We've got KLXVI, Del Hazard, Spindiana, Laurie Beck, Steve in Norway, aka Level 50 Jirachi, CC is Mad, MacFloof, Saul Halberfield, Lizzie George, Edinburgh 666, Neonet, Ellen Rushton, James Alexander, Northern Soph, Tom Cattle, Charlie Todd, Mr. Radar Luck, Robert Wilson, Miss Summer of 69, and finally Malcolm Grinter. And we have a new silver tier member, Geordie Castell. Thank you very much for joining the silver tier. And thank you very much to each and every one of you. But a special shout out to every person who's on that gold tier, who's able to join the live show chaos and the little bit that goes before and after and everything. Thank you so very much for taking that top tier spot. It really, really does help enormously.
Nice.
The gold tier folks are JB, Clifford Mert, Kerry and Zachary, Barside 2, Mandy Croft, Mr. Mossam, and Mufti. Thank you very much to every single one of you. We say it every week because we mean it. We really do. But the thanks don't end there. We've already mentioned them. They'll be in LA with us. A thank you indeed to our fantastic duo admin team of the Pyrrhus, aka Francesco, and the Ninja, Hermes Ninja, Sue. Thank you very much for all you guys do behind the scenes, helping us with various bits and pieces and with these live events as well. Crack team, we thank you very much indeed. But it's time to tuck away the Chevy 210 and find some other car analogy for episode 211.
Hold your fire, Sunshine. We've got some good news.
What?
Well, boys, yes, on Tuesday we have Spotlight Hour, and that is in Kai, with 2 times Catch XP, and that, of course, is on February the 18th between 6 and 7.
Steady on, Mark. I can trump that. I've got better news.
What?
Well, Yveltal and Zernia's Raid Hour, February the 19th between 6 and 7 p.m. Beats Inkay.
That definitely beats Inkay.
Anything beats Inkay.
What does this? Does this, Milo?
But boys, Great news.
What?
This is the best news I've heard in probably a year. Max Monday reminder, February the 17th from 2 to 5. 2 to 5? What was that?
2 to 5.
2 to 5 would be ridiculous. Anyway, 6 to 7 p.m. your local time on Monday, February the 17th. It's Pidove.
Okay, you win.
Pidove, Max Monday.
Dynamax Pidove. The Prince of Pidove will be very excited
D-Max
about
Pidove.
that.
Oh my goodness me.
Live streaming it.
Well, on.
Of course he is. Of course he is, Ian.
Do you know what? Yeah, sure. Just for your pleasure, Vasa,
No,
let's do it.
no, for the
And on
runtime.
that bombshell, it is time to end. We will very much be back with episode 211 next week, but hopefully we'll be seeing some of you out in LA very, very soon. Safe travels, everybody.
Keep safe.
I ain't getting on no airplane, and that's
We flying to Hawaii?
Honolulu. That was last year, wasn't it?